for? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horse.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
The show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and I've definitely never seen any horses play none of that. Our guest today is considered Sweden's leading traditional player of the modern chromatic Nickelharpa, having won the title world champion twice in 1992 and 2000. Peter Hedlund, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. We're thrilled to have you all the way from Sweden.
Yeah, I enjoy it here.
So tell us about that tune you just played.
Yeah, it's one of my own. I wrote that some years ago for the village I live in. There's like a gentleman's club there, and they needed a tune. So they asked me to write one for them, and I did.
And what do you call it?
Iste kornbodsmarsch. Say it.
I'll just mangle it. I can't even try that.
No, you don't have to.
Would you tell us a little bit about the Nickelharpa?
Yeah, I can do that. It's, as an instrument, it's really old. The oldest picture of this instrument is a relief, is it called that, on a wall, on a stone wall in Gotland in Sweden. It's from 1350 about. So I would say the instrument is at least 100 years older than that. So it's an old instrument. This is a modern version of it, but it's basically the same idea. I have 16 strings. I play 3. No one can play 16 strings. So I have 12 sympathetic strings and 1 bass drone. over here. And I have 37 keys, which shortens the string instead of a finger, and 3 rows of them, like that. And as I said, 12 sympathetic strings, 1 for each note. So whichever note I play, I have one of these small strings actually vibrating. That's pretty much it.
It's got a lovely sound.
Well, it takes some time to tune it. But that's the first thing you need to learn.
Would you like to give us another tune?
I can do that. I don't mean anything by it, but I'm going to play the last polska. It's called that. They used to end all the dancing in the 1800s in Uppland, from where I come, with this tune. They usually played it 4 or 5 times because they were threatening to end the evening. And if they got a drink or two, they just kept on playing, you know. So this is a traditional polska, the last polska, Sista Polskan.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thanks.
How did you get interested in playing this instrument?
I started playing fiddle. I was forced from home to play fiddle. And just by coincidence, the true master of this instrument, Erik Sahlström, was playing close to where I lived. And I really didn't have anything else to do, so I went to that concert. And I wasn't very interested, but I've seen the instrument around me all my life. Not very interested. And I went to listen to him anyway. And when he played his 3rd tune, it was like that. And I called my mother. I was 13 years old, I think, and asked if I could order a Nickelharpa from Erik Sahlström. He made the best ones too. And she said, oh, yes. She wasn't really prepared for the question. And I went over to Erik and I asked him to make me a Nickelharpa. And he said, yes, I can do that, but you know, people have been waiting for 7 years already. Well, I want to order one anyway. And I did, and I called him 2 weeks from that and asked if it was ready. And then I called him every 14 days and asked him. So I got it, this was June, and I got it in September. He was really fed up with me. And then he taught me how to play, and we became good friends. So I started around 1970. And by then there were maybe 100 players in all in Sweden. And I would think maybe 2 or 3 more than me that were teenagers. The rest were 50 and above. So that's about it.
Nicely told story.
Thanks. Well, you should try to do it in Swedish one day.
Well, you could You want to give us a synopsis in Swedish? It's a very interesting sounding language.
Well, do you really want to hear that?
Just a sentence or two, sure.
Ja, det här är en nyckelharpa och den har jag spelat på i stort sett hela mitt liv. That's it. I just said I played this for almost all my life.
What would you like to do for us next?
Yeah, let's see. The guy who made this instrument for me, Sören Åker is his name. He's, to me, the best nyckelharpa maker there is nowadays. And he's a good friend, and he came to my place one day with, I think it was 7 nyckelharpas, and he wanted me to try them all. And while trying them, I just started fingering, and in the end it was a new tune. So I made a schottis for Sören Åker. It's called Åker schottis. Tack så mycket.
Very pretty, almost Baroque sounding tune to my ear.
Maybe.
I don't know, I'm just guessing. We should tell folks about how to get in touch with your website, get your information, your tour information, and about your recordings and so forth, of which we have 2 in the studio. You have contributed to many, many recordings.
Yeah, I have.
And you have a number of your own, of which these are 2. I can't pronounce this, maybe you can.
That's vägen. It means the road or the way. They're the name for the other CD. That's another way.
This is the most recent one.
It is, and I'm playing with a few of my really good friends. And it's all the instruments there is, almost. It's the first time ever, actually, Nickelharpa is recorded together with dobro and Irish pipes, and some other instruments too.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, we had fun.
So it's www.peterhedlund.com. One
Yeah.
of those conveniently titled websites.
Yeah, it's easy for me to remember at least. Yeah.
What else would you like to give us?
Yeah, I was thinking here, maybe, you know, the playing I usually do in Sweden, it's concerts now and then, but the music is basically for dancing. And the best known hambo there is. Hambo is a very Swedish dance. It's a tune from Hälsingland, where I live now. and it's called Håregalotten. It's every Swede knows this tune. So let's see if you've heard it maybe.
That was a trick ending.
Yeah. That's my trick.
You mentioned before the cameras were rolling that there are a few rhythms that are unique to Swedish music.
Not really Swedish, Scandinavian,
Scandinavian
to say, yeah.
music.
You know, just in Sweden we have several hundred different kinds of polska. That's with an S in the middle. It's not at all like polka, totally different. The one I played now, Hambo, is one kind of polska. And then you have hundreds of other kinds of polskas. Slightly different. I don't think anyone from another country would even notice it. But to me and to everyone else playing it, it's very, very obvious. And it actually can be from one village or a small town, 30 kilometers from that town, you have another town just like it, and the music is totally different in between there. And I guess it's our woods, our forests. You just can't get through there. So you're stuck where you are. And the music, you learn it from where you are. Nowadays it's a little more radio and things around, so. But people try to maintain these dialects in their playing. And I think that's a good thing.
Is it fair to ask, is there one you can demonstrate?
Yeah, I can show you like a few bars from little different types of polska. Let's see, this Hambo I just played is like this. It's like a heavy waltz. And then we have 16th note polska. It's an even beat, but you can still tap 1 and 3 on it. Like, let's see. Yeah, I can't explain it. I can just do it. There are other people that can explain it.
And the dances must differ depending on the
Yes,
beat then?
yes, it does. It does.
What else would you like to play for us?
Well, I'm soon out of tunes here. Let's see. I can play a tune in minor I did for, I wrote this for 2 of my students. They were fed up with their work, so they were thinking about starting a catering business. And in Sweden we have serving tunes for serving food, so they just told me they needed one. And I had to do one. I had to make one for them. So it's a serving tune called Ringen. If you wonder what tack means, it means thank you. That's what I'm saying all the time.
In the bio that I read at the beginning, it says that you are a traditional player of the chromatic nickelharpa.
Yeah.
Are there non-traditional players, and is there a non-chromatic nickelharpa?
Yeah, that's right. You're right. There are nowadays quite a few younger nickelharpa players. Most of them are playing this kind of chromatic nickelharpa. They kind of mix up the Swedish tradition, play it together with Hungarian folk music or Indian or something like world music thing. You know? And that's really good. I enjoy that too. But it's not really what I enjoy playing. So I'm kind of more traditional. I do play other stuff too, but I kind of like these tunes. And then you have another kind of nickelharpa that's not chromatic. It's only playable in a few keys. Not as many keys on there, and maybe just a set of 1 row of keys or 1.5 row of keys. Sounds totally different. You play other tunes on it, mostly traditional tunes. But I think I can play those tunes on this one too, in a traditional way, although this is a chromatic nickelharpa. But those nickelharpas are smaller, higher, and well, they look basically the same, but have a different ideal tone, so to speak. Not as loud as this one. Yeah, I have a hard time explaining this in Swedish too.
Now, Rita said that the Nickelharpa predates the violin.
Yeah, it does.
That's fascinating because it seems like I guess the violin could have developed out of the Nickelharpa.
I don't think so, really. I wouldn't know, but the only likeness is really the bow, I think, and the strings, of course. I play fiddle too, but this is much worse.
What is the range of the, how many places is the Nickelharpa played?
In the world?
Yeah.
All over nowadays, I guess. In the 50s, there were about 14, 15 players in Sweden, so it was very close to really be lost. When I started playing, there were maybe 100 players, and that was 1970. Nowadays, I would say that in Sweden alone, we have at least 10,000 players.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know here in America you have the American Nickelharpa Association. And I don't know how many members, a couple of hundred maybe. And I know it's played in all continents. I have made some DVD Nickelharpa schools, and I sell them to Japan, Australia, America, all over. So they're around. People usually get fascinated by this instrument.
Well, we've just got enough time to thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you.
And maybe flash your website again, www.peterhedlund.com. We don't have that. They're already rolling the credits. So let's play our little polka.
Okay. Starts in G.
Yes.
Then a D.
Thanks again.